Should you rent a home or buy one? Most people jump straight to buying is always better. It's an investment. But what if I told you sometimes renting can actually make more financial sense? That's where the 5% rule comes in. Today I'll break it down into simplest way possible, so by the end of the video you will know exactly how to use this rule to make smarter housing decisions. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my goal is to simplify money so you can take control of your finances without any big jargons. And today's topic is one of the most important financial decisions you will ever make. Should you rent or should you buy? Let's divide into the 5% rule. The 5% rule is a simple way to compare the true cost of owning a home versus the renting. Here's the idea. Owning a home doesn't mean paying your mortgage. There are a lot of hidden costs. Property taxes, maintenance, insurance. On average, those costs add up to around 5% of the home's value every single year. For example, let's say you're looking at a £400,000 home. According to the 5% rule, the true cost of owning that house is just not the mortgage. It's around £20,000 a year. £400,000 into 5%. That's your benchmark to compare against renting. So if you're renting that same place, cost you less than £20,000 a year or about £1,666 a month, renting might actually be a lot cheaper. So where does this 5% come from? Let's break it down. Property taxes around 1%. In UK you will pay council tax, other charges. Globally, property taxes average around 1% of the home's value. Maintenance cost, it's around again 1%, like roof, boilers, plumbing, rent, repainting, home ownership, repairs, etc. A good rule is at least 1% per year for the maintenance. Cost of capital around 3%. That's a big one. When you buy a home, you tie up a huge amount of money in a down payment. That money could have been invested elsewhere, like stocks, index, ISAs. A lot of economists estimate this opportunity cost is about 3% every year, and it might grow even more. And if you add this all, 1%, 1% plus 3%, that adds to 5%. So this is your benchmark. So how do you apply this in real life? It's simple. Compare your annual rent to 5% of the house price. Let's do two examples. Example 1, the house you want cost £500,000. 5% of that is £25,000. If the rent for similar place is £2,000 per month, that's £24,000 a year. Pretty close, right? In this case, renting and buying are nearly equally financially close. Example 2, a £600,000 flat, 5% is £30,000. If rent is only £1,500 per month, that's £18,000 a year. That's much cheaper than buying, meaning renting might be a smarter choice. The rule doesn't mean renting is always better. It gives you a financial reality check before you can commit to a big investment. Now, the 5% rule is just a framework. It doesn't capture everything. Here are some things it doesn't include. Market growth. If property values rise 10% in your area, buying could still be a good decision. Personal stability. If you want to settle long term, buying may be better regardless. Renting. Flexibility. Renting gives you freedom. You can move without the hassle of selling. Emotional value. Owning your home feels different. It feels like you are owning that house. You can do a lot of stuff, interior work when you own a house. So don't just look at the numbers. Factor in your lifestyle, your job situation, stability, your financial goals, etc. So should you rent or should you buy? The 5% rule won't give you a perfect yes or no, but it gives you a clear financial lens. If your annual rent is much lower than 5% of the home's value, you are likely better off renting. If it's higher, buying starts to make more sense. Remember, this is one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. Don't just follow what your parents or friends say. Run the numbers for yourself and tell me in the comments, does this 5% rule change the way you see renting versus buying? And if you found this breakdown useful, hit like, subscribe and share this with someone who's debating rent versus buying right now.